is Molly, and today we are here to discuss Shadowhunters Season 2, Episode 11. I haven't done talks for the entire show, and I apologize for that, but I decided once it came back for its summer premiere, I wanted to try and start doing episode talks after every episode, so I took notes during the summer premiere, and hopefully it all works out. Shadowhunters airs on Freeform on Monday nights at 8 o'clock, and I love the Mortal Instruments series. It's my favorite book series ever, so I was super excited when it came back, even though the show is not the greatest. This will be This will contain spoilers for anyone that hasn't watched any of the show, some of the show. You could probably get away with not reading the books because I'm here to talk about the TV show, but, you know, to be safe, you should go read the books because they're amazing. So if you haven't watched the episode, go watch it now and then come back and we can discuss it. Anyone that hasn't watched the episode, I'm going to say goodbye to you now, so bye! Alright, let's discuss. So, the show opens up and there's an intro, and she's like, "My name's Clary," and then she goes on to talk about, like, Jace and everyone, and I really liked that opening. I really liked how it recapped everything, and it was good. I liked it. So the episode opens up, and Jace and Alec are on, like, the rooftop fighting, and the fight scenes have gotten so much better since season 1, like, so much better, and I love them so much, and I was so happy with it. And then I also really felt the chemistry between Jace and Alec. Not romantic chemistry, that's weird, they're brothers, but, like, you know, just that chemistry that actors have that makes a show fun and the characters believable. And so I really liked that. I really felt like that was a Jace and Alec moment. And so yeah, I was really happy with that. It was a good way to start out the episode. A thing that's been bothering me since they started it on the show has been the Clary and Simon storyline. I love Clary and I love Simon and I love their friendship, but I absolutely hate their romantic relationship because I don't like it. They're friends. Like, they are Jace and Alec. Like, they are best friends. They're brother and sister. And, like, you can't have a romantic relationship with your brother or your sister. It's weird, and I don't ship them. For any of you that have read the books in City of Ashes when Simon and Clary date, it's literally like a chapter, and they don't really talk about it, and Clary's not into it, and she feels awkward, and it doesn't work for them, even though they want it to. But in the show, they make it seem like this big thing, and it pisses me off, because that's not how it is. And I know that soon they're gonna have the Clay storyline again, and it's just gonna be like nothing ever happened with Simon, but they're making it seem like the two of them are so in love, and then I know they're just gonna, like, cut it off, and that pisses me off, because even though I don't ship them, like, you can't just do that. You can't have two people absolutely in love with each other and then just be like, nope, bye. So I'm not happy with how into Simon Clary is. Like, she's not awkward at all. She's just totally like, yeah, and Clary's not like that, and her and Simon's relationship is not like that at all, and I'm not a fan. Simon seems more reluctant than Clary does. The scene when Jace comes in on Clary and Simon, and he, like, goes up to Clary and he's like, we gotta go, you know, that whole scene. Simon goes up to Jace, and he's like, don't worry, I have your back. And Jace is like, well, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm not gonna tell anyone that you gave me your blood, like, I'm not gonna tell them that's why I'm a daylighter. And Jace is like, we don't know that for sure. And Simon's like, I know. And it's really funny, and then he tries to go in for a hug, and Jace is like, no. And it was really funny, and I really enjoyed that scene. I really love the chemistry between Alberto and Dom. It feels like Jace and Simon, and so I'm really happy with the two of them and how they're playing their roles and how they're interacting together, and I just thought that was really sweet. It was like, Simon's not gonna tell anybody, and aw, Simon. Okay, so we have this creepy guy in this bar, and he, like, goes up, and they're like, oh, so what do you want? He's like, the Mortal Cup, and then he just, like, kills everyone. And at first I thought he was, like, a really powerful warlock, and I thought the episode was just gonna be hunting down a warlock. It later turns out that he's a greater demon, which even when they said it, I didn't believe it. I was like, no, he's just a powerful warlock. Like, Magnus is gonna know him, it's gonna be a warlock. It wasn't. It was a greater demon, and I was not a fan of that, because for those of you that read the books, you know greater demons don't take, like, a human form. They're disgusting, and they look like they do in their demonic world, and, like, this guy was just a warlock. It was basically what he was, but a super powerful one, and it pissed me off, because I'm like, no, that's not how greater demons are. Like, no. So then we go to this scene where Izzy is hooked on Yenfen, and Don't even get me started on that storyline. For those of you who have read The Infernal Devices, you probably share my anger. Izzy gets addicted to Yin-Fen, and it's not a big deal in the show. They're just like, oh, it's vampire venom. No, it's not. It's a demon powder. What are you talking about? And then Izzy's like, I need a bite. She goes to Raphael's, and she's like, I need a bite. You have to bite me. And Raphael's like, no. Even though Raph isn't a big part of the books, and, like, I'm not his biggest fan, in the show, I love him, and I love his character, and I just thought he was so great when he was like, Izzy, no, like, I care about you. I don't really ship them romantically. I will always be a Sizzy shipper, because Sizzy. When they started doing that, I was kind of unsure, but at the same time, like, I don't mind it in place of Sizzy for now, as long as Sizzy is endgame. Then we go to Magnus's apartment, and I know this has been all over Tumblr, but, like, Alec comes in and he just, like, gives Magnus a quick little kiss, and it's just, like a normal couple, and I was so happy for them. Even though I feel like Alec sometimes acts kind of out of character, because he wouldn't be as open as he is in the show. In the books, I'm still proud of him, and I still love his character and him and Magnus's relationship. They're my favorite ship on the show. In the books, of course, it's Clace. Like, nothing can replace Clace, but, you know. Magnus and Alec in the show are pretty great. Then, for my Supernatural fans out there, we get Azazel. Like, they said his name, and I screamed, and I was like, oh my god! Because if any of you watch Supernatural, you know who Azazel is. Okay, so then we meet Sebastian, and the guy who plays Sebastian, I think, could do a good job. He's been on Game of Thrones, like, you know, I think he could do a good job. When he came in, he seemed pretty cool. I like his accent, like, you know, he pretty much looks the part. At least the hair's right. It would have bothered me if the hair wasn't right, even though it's not dyed. Sebastian comes in, he saves Izzy, and takes Izzy back to his apartment, which is a very nice apartment, by the way. So he takes Izzy back to his apartment, and he's like, I know you're addicted to Yin-Fen, and he's like, I have an anecdote. And I was like, you can't just have something that cures Yin-Fen. Like, that's not how it works. So Sebastian just is like, I can cure you, and she's like, weirdo, and then she's like, okay, whatever. So she takes the cure. It only lasts for a few hours, but then she stays at Sebastian's apartment. I feel like because she's the first one he met, they're gonna have some weird, like, special bond, and it's just kind of weird, but whatever. Then we get this scene, and Clary just starts screaming at Jace for not showing any feeling, and I'm like, Jace doesn't do that. Like, that's not what he does. And it kind of bothered me that she got so mad at him so quickly, because, like, she doesn't know what he's going through, and she needs to chill. You know, Clary in the book, I feel like, wouldn't get mad necessarily, but she'd be like, dude, come on, like, you gotta tell me, and he would open up. But I did like how that scene led to the Jace and Alec hug that we got, where Alec is like, Jace, are you okay? And he turns around, he's crying, and, like, they hug, and I thought that was really sweet, even if the characters seem a lot more vulnerable on the show. So then when Sebastian and Izzy are, like, in the apartment, Sebastian is like, yeah, I was watching my dad, or somebody, I don't even know, and he's like, and I copied everything he did, and I was like, hint, Izzy. You know, like, I was just, I don't know if that was meant as a hint, but it, like, made me feel like it was, and so I got really excited, because I was like, I picked up on that. I got you, Shadowhunters. So then, Simon's just, like, talking, I don't know, I think he was on the phone with his mom, and he's like, yeah, college, and I was like, what? Simon, you're going to college? Like, 1, you're a freaking vampire. 2, your best friend's a Shadowhunter. 3, you're in the middle of a war. I was like, what are you doing thinking about college? Then we get this giant end scene where the greater demon comes because they think he has Izzy. Izzy was being stupid by not calling Alec. Like, she could have just called him and been like, I'm not dead, and hung up. Like, it would have been fine. But instead, she has to make them worry, and then they call a greater demon, and then all this crap goes down. Anyway, so we get this scene where the greater demon comes, and they want to make the trade, Valentine for Izzy, and then the greater demon's like, I don't have Izzy. And they're like, you're lying. And he's like, no, I'm not. And he breaks free of the pentagram, which I think Magnus should have known. Like, it pissed me off that he didn't know, because he is one of the smartest and most powerful warlocks out there. Like, you can't tell me he thought he could contain a greater demon. I'm so mad. Because in the book, like, he knows you can't contain a greater demon. Breaks free of the pentagram, and he just, like, makes this weird, like, noise, and everybody falls. And Alec is calling for Magnus, and Claire is calling for Jace. Jace looks over at her, and then he breaks free of his bonds, and this rune gets activated, and he, like, jumps up, and the greater demon flees. And I was just like, okay. And I'm assuming it has something to do with the fact that he's pure angel and can do things that other Shadowhunters can't do. He couldn't do that in the book. Just putting it out there. Okay, so our final scene that we get in the show is when Magnus and Valentine, next week it looks like we're gonna get a lot of have to figure out how to switch them back, and they have to figure out that it is Magnus because they don't believe him, and like all this stuff, so I think it's gonna be a mess. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on the episode. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode, and what you think of Shadowhunters in general, and what you thought about this video, and if I should do more like it. That's it for this video, guys. I try to upload a video every week. If you like my videos, then subscribe, and I'll see you next time.